morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, our voice of radio, and if I sound excited right now, it's because I am finally able to talk about Pokémon TCG Pocket. The lovely folks over at the Pokémon Company International invited me to their London office last week to hear about the game and actually play the game. Cheers to Pokemon for that. That was awesome. It was a fantastic experience. I'm excited about TCG Pocket, but I also got a lot of answers, so let's go through a lot of information. First things first, this is not TCG Live. This is not connected to or related to TCG Live. The code cards you get in Pokemon TCG packs don't work in Pocket. You don't share collections, there's no migrating. These are different things. I don't know if they're ever going to interact in the future, but as it stands at the moment, they are completely separate. Now, the game is going to be available in 9 languages initially: English, French, Italian, German, European Spanish, Brazilian Portuguese, Japanese, traditional Chinese, and Korean. And you can change your language in the app, and when you open packs, cards will come out in that language. But if you change your language, cards you've opened will not change. So I'm going to be opening all my packs in Japanese, and I can still go and set the app back to English, but cards I've opened in Japanese will remain Japanese. Now, of course, one of the big questions is, how do we get booster packs? Here's the deal. You get 2 free booster packs per day, 1 every 12 hours. Although there is a premium pass I'm going to mention at the end of the video, it's $10 a month, and it allows you to get a total of 3 booster packs per day for free, 1 extra. 2 booster packs will queue up, but as soon as there's 2 in the queue, they won't keep generating. If you go back after a week, there won't be 14 packs there for you, there will be 2. There are items that can actually lower the timer limit. That is pack hourglasses. These are free and lower the timer by 1 hour. Or Pokegold, which is paid and lower the timer by 2. You can also earn packs by doing missions in the app. Now, the first expansion is going to be called Genetic Apex, and there are 3 booster packs featuring Charizard, Mewtwo, and Pikachu. The cards you pull will vary per pack. By the way, there's 3 different boosters in the first set. We were told this will vary by expansion. There's no guarantee it's always going to be free. But the cards will change depending on which booster pack you open. So try and make sure that you're not opening the same one over and over. You're going to miss a bunch of cards. They are 5 card packs, and there are over 200 cards, although we have already seen a screenshot that shows us there's about 280. But one really cool thing, which I had no idea about, was Wonder Pick. Now, Wonder Pick is something you can do every so often, where you get to look at a pack somebody else has opened, and you get one of their cards at random. So you want this Squirtle, you've got a 1 in 5 chance of actually getting it. And yes, this can include rare and even promo cards. In order to do your Wonder Pick, you need Wonder Stamina, which recharges over time. The time can be reduced using Wonder Hourglasses that are earned through mission rewards. I do have to tell you, there are a bunch of items and currencies at play here. I will tell you about all of them as we go. One thing that's interesting, if you see a Wonder Pick you really like, as in a pack you really want a Wonder Pick from, they do expire after a certain amount of time, but there is a rewind watch which will allow you to essentially rewind time in order to go to a Wonder Pick which has expired, and you can earn these by leveling up. Now, it is a game about playing, it is also a game about collecting, and they are going to a lot of effort here to make the collecting part fun. You can show off your collection in binders and frames that you can get from missions or in the shop. You can personalize with accessories, that could be playmat, sleeves, coin, etc. And you can even add flair to cards with shine dust. Now, essentially, when you end up with too many duplicate cards, i.e. more than you can use, you can deconstruct them to get shine dust, which can also be rewards for missions, and then you can use that to bling out your cards, which honestly sounds genuinely brilliant. Now, in terms of currencies, there are 4 that we were told about in terms of free currencies, and they go like this. Shop tickets are earned from missions and setup battles and are used for cosmetics and accessories. Emblem tickets are earned by themed collection and dex missions, i.e. completing, it could be the Kanto Pokedex, or it could be Pokemon found in the Safari Zone, etc. And then these give you emblems to add to your profile. Special shop tickets are earned by consuming high rarity cards, breaking them down when you've got too many, and they can give you special accessories. And then event shop tickets are earned with event missions, and yes, they are obviously time limited, and they give you limited time accessories, because again, these things do expire. Now, in terms of the rarities, we've got 7 different rarities. We've got 1 diamond to 3 diamond, which roughly equate to common, uncommon, and rare in the physical TCG. We've got 4 diamond, which is your regular EX cards. And then we've got 1 star, which is your full art Pokemon, 2 star, which is your full art EX, and 3 star, which is your immersive card. Take a look at the immersive Pikachu. It is absolutely redonkulous. Now, we were also shown the immersive Mewtwo. I've got a screenshot of it here, although we did see a brief clip of the immersiveness of it at the end of the World Championships in that trailer. These are the only 2 that have been shown off so far, and it is important to note immersive cards are videos. There's sound on there, but they are videos. They are not interactive. You don't get to move around. They are very much, it plays a really cool video, and honestly, in person, these look phenomenal. I'm a huge fan. I intend to collect them all. I am aware it won't be easy. But I need to give an extra special shout out to the Pokemon Company right now, because we only had half an hour hands-on time with the game. I went through, opened a bunch of packs, did all of that, and I wanted to play the game. And I feel pretty confident I played more games than anybody else who's done the preview, especially if they were limited to half an hour. Let's just say I beeline straight into playing the game. Now, there are several important things to actually note here. Firstly, in terms of cards, every Pokemon will have 1 attack other than EXs that aren't guaranteed to have 2 attacks, but we know that nothing else but an EX will have 2 attacks. Regular Pokemon will only have 1 attack. That is very important. Not all EXs have 2 attacks. Although we've already seen a bunch of Pokemon like Pidgeot, for example, that have abilities, these seem to be limited to Stage 2s, though I have not had that officially confirmed, but I've only seen these on Stage 2s. We'll have to wait and see if this is a hard and fast rule or not, but certainly 1 attack for non-EX Pokemon, that is confirmed. That is something which we were told explicitly, which is interesting. Also, something we were told explicitly, effects and abilities that search the deck are gone. So Pokeball, for instance, gets you a random basic Pokemon from your deck, which actually is really interesting to me because it means that they are making cards which are impossible to use in the real game. Think about how awkward it would be to try and get a random basic Pokemon from your deck. You'd have to show your opponent your entire deck, grab all of the basics out, and then shuffle them up. And this will never work. This is a card which will only work in a digital game. So this is kind of awesome. We were also told that cards that are generally used, i.e. used in most decks, are going to be given to all as tutorial rewards. So yay! That's a good thing. Now, in terms of the battles, it is generally the Pokemon TCG. You have Pokemon, you evolve them up, you attach energy, you deal damage with your attacks. When HP is lowered to 0, the Pokemon is knocked out. You have Pokemon on your bench. These are all things that we expect. These are all things that we remember. The general game is the same, but there are many important differences. We have 20 card decks, not 60. I believe you're limited to 2 of any card in your deck. I am trying to get that officially confirmed, but I've not yet had that officially confirmed. But screenshots like this seem to heavily imply it. You can only have 3 bench Pokemon, not 5. But again, with the smaller decks, that should be less of an issue. And you don't take 6 prize cards to win, you gain 3 points. 1 point for knocking out a Pokemon, 2 points for knocking out a Pokemon EX. That means there are no prize cards, and your entire deck will be available to you from the first turn of the game. You draw a 5-card opening hand, not 7, and then you draw 1 more card every turn like you would imagine. And there is a hard limit of 10 cards in hand. You cannot have more than 10 cards in your hand. Resistance is gone, and it seems like weakness is always plus 20. Now, I say seems like because we don't know for certain, but then by the same token, every Pokemon we've seen from small basics up to EXs, all of them have plus 20 weakness. So again, I've not had it officially confirmed that weakness is always plus 20, but that seems to be a rule for now. But remember, we've done card games for years now. Just because it's a rule now doesn't mean it will be in the future. Resistance is definitely gone though. Look at the cards. There is literally no space on the card to put resistance. Now, in terms of deck building, obviously you can build your own decks, but they can also be auto-generated. And there are rental decks that are available through deck missions. Complete a mission, borrow a deck. But they have limited uses. They cannot be used forever. And yes, you can buy individual cards in the app using pack points, which seem to be accumulated by opening packs. Now, as it stands at the moment, I have not seen any tools or stadiums. Again, I've not had confirmation they're not in there, but this is a pared down version of the game deliberately so to work on mobile. We've not seen anything along those lines. Supporters come out of packs, and it seems to be that items are available, in the shop and tutorial, etc., rather than from packs, but that goes back to what I was saying earlier. Now, the turn 1 rules here are very important. This is turn 1 going first, because obviously going first is an advantage. If you go first, you do draw a card. You do not get an energy turn 1 going first, and you can use a supporter. Unlike in the regular game, you definitely can use a supporter card turn 1 going first. And I know this because I quit out of battles a couple of times until I went first with a supporter in hand, and I played that supporter. So yes, you most definitely can. Now, the other important thing to note here is about the energy. Energy cards are gone. It's all to do with the energy zone. Every turn other than turn 1 going first, an energy will be generated in the energy zone. These do not stack. One turn I deliberately didn't attach an energy to see if I would have 2 waiting for me the next turn. I did not. There is only 1 energy in the energy zone at a time. But we've seen cards like Gardevoir, for instance, which let you attach an extra energy from your energy zone during your turn. And essentially, or Meltan is another one here, and essentially what they do is they generate an extra energy in the energy zone as needed. If a card says you can attach an energy from the energy zone, one will magically appear. Otherwise, it's once per turn, and they do not stack. My first impression of the games, more turns are needed, but the turns are very, very fast. Now, obviously, I'm playing intro with just a few cards, so let's not pretend I've seen everything that is available, but the turns were very, very quick. Get an energy, maybe evolve, draw. There isn't as much to do as in the regular game, because it's designed to be a quick, bite-sized game. And more turns were needed. No giant one-hit KOs. It was chipping away. I really, really enjoyed it. Because of the smaller decks, it seemed like it was easier to evolve Pokemon. It seemed like I was drawing into my evolutions a little bit more easily. It seems like there's going to be more evolution and more building up over more turns, although because the turns are faster, the games still are not terribly long. Most of the games I played were probably an average of 3 to 4 minutes was about how long I was taking for most of my games. So what about the money side of it? Well, there is a premium pass which costs $9.99 in the US, or the equivalent in other territories. And full disclosure, I am 100% going to be buying this day one. You get your first 2 weeks free to see if you like it, which I think is a really nice way to do it. And essentially what you get is a third booster pack every 24 hours. If you log in daily, that's an extra 28 to 31 boosters a month. That's pretty good. And also, it unlocks premium missions where you can unlock unique accessories, promo cards, etc. But, and I've said this many times before, this is the right way to do it, the promos are alternate art, they are not mechanically unique. You do not need the promos to play the game, they'll just look cool. There is also a paid currency to go with the 4 free currencies. It is called Pokégold. It reduces the time to open packs by 2 hours, whereas the free Hourglass is reducing it by 1 hour. And it can also be used for some accessories. Yes, you can therefore pay to get packs faster, but there is a limit of how much you can spend per day, and shout out to the lovely Joe Merrick, he of Cerebi.net, who has done the maths and figured out that essentially the limit means an extra 120 packs per day is what you can pay for using Pokégold, which to be fair is still a lot. So there we go. That's Pokemon TCG Pocket. Massive shout out to the Pokemon Company for bringing me out to their London office to try it. I absolutely adore it. And look, I know they invited me over there. They gave me the preview, etc. So please bear that in mind when you listen to my concluding thoughts here. I love it. The idea of every kind of 8 hours, if you get the premium pass, opening a booster pack, yes. That is going to give me the TCG hit I crave in my pocket. You guys know by now what a TCG nerd I am. I really enjoy the battle and the changes that are made, and the quickness of them means you can sit on the sofa and play them here and there, whereas sometimes TCG Live, you're there for 20-30 minutes playing, which I love, but I don't always have time for. I will have time for these games a lot more. The immersive cards are awesome, the artwork is stunning, although the fact that some of these cards by my favourite artists I will never be owning physically honestly makes me genuinely sad. And overall, I've come away with an overwhelmingly positive impression. I'm extremely excited about TCG Pocket. I'm going to be there day one. I am hyped. But what did you expect? You've seen this channel, right? You kind of know where I'm coming from with a Pokemon TCG. But seriously, things like being able to open the entire collection in Japanese if I want, help me learn Pokemon names and practice Japanese constantly, I think is a lovely little touch. Wonder Pick is incredibly cool. What they've done, and things like the immersive cards and the cards that won't work mechanically tabletop, they're leaning into this being a digital game, and I think they're doing it in a good way. I am not loving all of the different currencies and the confusion that's going to cause. I'm sure we'll all get used to it over time, but I'm going to be honest with you, 4 free currencies, all of which do different things, plus then all of your items like the 2 different kinds of Hourglass and the Shine Dust and the watch and then the paid currency, that does seem a little much to me. Outside of that, overwhelmingly positive. I love it, but now it's over to you guys. I don't know everything, and I promise you, I have put so much time into finding out everything I can, and I have sent a list of questions to Pokemon, hoping to get some clarification on some points. If I do, there'll be a follow-up video. So I'm going to be checking the comment section for this video more than I normally do. If you ask any questions I can answer, I will endeavor to go and answer them down there. For now, tell your friends, share this preview around. I want this to be seen by as many people as possible, because frankly, especially on the playing side, I think I've dug in more than most. So tell me what you think about this and post all of your questions in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games, including TCG Pocket. And make sure you share this with your friends. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.